And yeah, welcome to the show, guys. Um, Get I mean Six, Raj, Mihai, Jay Brignac, JLR Cards, Rudy, Casting. Thank you for joining me. Let's start off with fundamental analysis, like I always do on the show. Hey Vamshi. Uh, so in terms of our crypto fear and greed index, we are at 27, which is a noticeable increase. It's not crazy. We were at 24 just 24 hours ago, funnily enough. So nice that we're getting a little bit more confidence back in the market, right? In terms of our liquidation map, in terms of Bitcoin, of course there are more longs stacked to the downside now. Shorts are sort of a little bit out of the picture on the 1 day, but I imagine on the 7 day, oh, interesting. So there are more longs here on the 7 day, but if we go to the 30 day, oh, okay, interesting. So, when I looked at this yesterday, right, um, there was clearly a lot more shorts than there were longs, but now we have almost 9 billion long liquidations, to the downside, and almost 8 billion, 9 billion long liquidations as well. So it's very close. It's almost a 1 to 1 ratio, which is very dangerous in the sense that we should be expecting some volatility based on the cumulative amount of liquidations on both sides. And as we can see here, there's a huge cluster of leverage orders that are just waiting to be taken out by price. So the closest one is around here, at starting from 94 to about 96, and at least for the downside, it's starting from one of our BTC long entries. So that's interesting to look at. On the 24-hour RSI heat map, we do see that we push from completely oversold territory back up to neutral, with a lot of coins sort of dispersed well around neutral. We can see that Pippin is overbought and has fallen, so it could be a short that we can look at for this session. We can also look at maybe Sahara, because I remember seeing Sahara way down and oversold yesterday, as well as Aptos. So we can look at those two coins right there. Um, we can also look at maybe Bio, but generally I kind of want to look at Sahara and Aptos. Um, Looking at the liquidation heat map here on the 1 hour, we can see, oh, not 1 hour, this is the 1 month liquidation heat map. We can see that the hotspots of liquidity start from about 96,971 to about 98,000, with another pocket around 101,000. But if I go to the 1 week map, we can see that there is a pocket of liquidity here at around 90,000. Now, uh, what's our current trading price? And sorry, give me a moment. I'm just deleting that. It looks like, oh, we just got a massive dump. Wow, that's a big red candle in the 5 minutes. It got to the FVG, the discount. Uh, yeah. Okay, interesting. So we can definitely look at that when we're done, but we can essentially assume that we're going for this hotspot of 90,000. So this could be an possible area for an entry for us that we can look at, and well, we'll keep ourselves posted with that. But that's about the fundamental analysis. Hey, Boosted Boy, it's been a while. SAC 2029, uh, BCN and Rue. Welcome to the show. I'm Langestrom. If you have any questions, just let me know. Put it in chat. Don't be shy. And let's look at the charts right now, because, I mean, for what better use is our Chart Prime subscription if not to look at the charts? So BTC 5 minutes, 1 hour. This literally just appeared as we started the show. Uh, Crazy. I mean, look how it turned our ribbon, just massive push. Also on the MVP ribbon. Now, we saw earlier that around 90,000 is a hotspot of liquidity. So if I put a horizontal ray at around 90,000, we can see there is a big volume node here at around 9951. Our next FVG is around 89. So based on this bearish div, right, I would I would assume that maybe we would go here to this FVG at around 89,000, because typically when you have a hotspot of liquidity, you want to go a little bit lower than that if you're trying to grab the liquidity there, just to pull a little bit more of those late long entries. Let me look at the chat. Hey, hey, Tech Watch, welcome to the show. Hey, Boosted Boy. Well, I'm glad you're here too, and you've given me a little bit of your time today. So this show is gonna be a little short, not too short. It's about 30 minutes shorter than yesterday. So we'll be ending the show in 1 hour and 24 minutes because I got a couple things to do, finals. So still have to write a few papers, and you guys can actually stay confident in the fact that I aced. Like I got an A on my economics banking final exam. So I don't have a PhD, but at least I know what I'm talking about when it comes to banking. At least I'd hope so. So, um, yeah. Anyways, um, yeah. Quick push to the upside. So we got our volatility score here at around 93%. So I placed my volatility matrix at 9, so that the threshold would be 90%. And this looks like a quick sweep, but if we close bearish on this candle, then it wouldn't surprise me if we do see a little bit more downside. So again, what we're targeting here is this 90k high volume node, and possibly all the way down to this FEG at 89,000, right? So these two, or maybe you can enter at our entry of 88.7 for BTC. Ethereum also did the same thing, so let's look at where Ethereum might go. Yeah, that's not looking too good. Ethereum's just looks bearish. So if I had to garner or place a guess, I would probably put Ethereum here at around 299, and maybe down here as well by the FVG's highest volume, or most traded price rather. So we're looking at possible targets of 299 to about 2965 for possible places to enter a quick scalp long on Ethereum. Solana, of course, did the same thing. And what's interesting is we're doing this right before market open. So U.S. market open, it's about 10. Well, at my time it's 10:30, but it's 9:30 EST. So that's about 22 minutes from now. And if we have such a volatile move right before market open, it's best not to trade in the direction. I'm not saying that automatically means let's go long, but typically when you have a market, when you move like this with high volatility right before market open, it's either a quick liquidity grab before market opens, or they're just messing with you. So I'd wait for any setups by like 10:50. And let's look at a couple of the ones that we mentioned earlier. So Sahara, SDT, P, Grow Crypto. Yeah, okay, let's look at Sahara real quick. So Sahara was one of those that were oversold, like significantly oversold. So that gives me okay, yeah. So compared to the rest of the market, it sort of failed to push up, which could mean that this is like a late bloomer or a shitcoin. It's one of them. So we will have to determine if that's the case. Is this a shitcoin or a late bloomer? And then Aptos, Blofin. Oh, well, that's what we drew yesterday. Aptos already with the up reversal triangle. Let's see here. I think I'd wait for Aptos to go oversold on the hourly before I sort of make a move on it. Because lots of bearish divs right here on the 1 hour. Your fluid zero line's kind of high, right? It's kind of high, so still overall bearish. By the time we get to this point, I fully expect we'll be over here The fluid zero line here would be closer to the bottom, which will make it easier for us to have bullish momentum. So I probably set an alert. Let's see where the volume is. Probably set an alert here, 1.896, as well as over here, 1.949, and then just check what the CPO plus is like. Let me look at chat. Hey, DagaTT. Yeah, thanks for dropping by. Hey, RMAC56. Hey, Dimitar. Hey, Arfine. Welcome to the show. Hey, Eric M. Yeah, thanks for joining me. And right now, got just a big drop. So, I'm kind of curious as to what they might want here, or what their game is, because I mean that's a significant drop relative to our candle chops, right? Just straight back down to 91. Let's go here. So bearish FVG. We fell off the quantum and dynamic reactor. This is technically a bearish cross, based on my setup. So if you have your quantum reactor, which is Market Oracle Pro Plus, I've set mine to slow, right? I basically treat it as a long moving average, and my dynamic reactor as the short moving average. You basically got a bearish cross right here. Oh, well, I think honestly, I think this was what I was envisioning last night. I guess I was 24 hours early, or 23 hours early rather. Um, but yeah, don't revenge trade, but that was smart. I would say that was smart. You did get the bearish divergence here in the 1 hour, so I'd say that was smart. Yeah. Actually, who are those soccer people that you've got on Bing X DagaDT? It's just like so blurry. Got after images. But yeah. Anyways, how is Pippin looking? Oh, that's a good question. Pippin was one of something that we could look at actually. So on the 12-hour, it did still say it was overbought, right? This looks like a head and shoulders on the 1 hour. But we are kind of approaching the lower extremity, and we are at a buy zone, and we have an up reversal. So I think for this one, I mean, I'll take this in mind, right? Because this looks like a head and shoulders, but typically with head and shoulders, while they do tend to break to the downside, what I don't like about them is they can quickly find support. So your support could be here at the FVG, over here. It's something I don't really like playing with. So let's look at the 12H. Maybe that will give us a little bit more clarity for what Pippin might want to do. So okay, overbought. We got a reversal triangle. So it could be worth something. And you can see this white line that we drew earlier on the 1 hour does coincide relatively well with a high volume node. So what I think I'll be doing is maybe looking for a short entry here on Pippin, like right now. Thanks for suggesting it actually. And we can possibly short it to the white line here. I'll lower it just a bit. Yeah, let's go back to the 1 hour. I'm not sure. I'm starting to hate this. Why? Why? What's wrong with divs? I love divergences. Divergences are cool. But yeah. Let me grab a horizontal ray. Place it right here. So your most traded price is about 0.02. Does coincide with a high volume node. If we go to the 5 minutes, it is equilibrium and your point of control. So I think I would endorse this. The question would then be, what's our stop loss, right? So let's put a short position. This will be a swing because Pippin's a little bit more volatile as a coin. I think I want to put it above the quantum reactor on the 5 minutes. Or maybe we can be a little bit more generous, put it above premium. Let's see where this might go. So if I zoom out here, actually get some things for it. Right. That's a 1 to 2.65 risk to reward, pretty decent. And something like this. Yeah, I think this is good actually. Yeah, I think this is good. So I guess first call of the show, and well, this would be the first signal of the show, which is going to be a swing on Pippin. And I have traded Pippin before, actually on the show, live on the show, and I do believe we got full TP on it. So this is going to be a swing. For Hey, oh, I look so funny in the photo. I don't look flattering at all. It's just my forehead. Oh, and this is gonna be recorded too. Oh dear. Okay. Oh god. All right, hold on. I'll just write something down real quick. Okay. All right. So let's do swing call. I guess I need to do some math, right? I need to pull up my calculator real quick. So let me do that. So it is entry 0.20064. How I have to read that properly because I can't have another Pengu situation. I'm still disappointed about the opportunity to have made 1,000% yesterday and not sweating it. 0.21988. You could technically put your stop loss a little higher, like above the last candle. But I'll do this for now. Or we can place it higher, just sacrifice a bit of the RR here. Yeah, I think this is good. 0.22397. 397. Okay. So it's about 20x lev. Okay. So let me pull up the Discord. Let me just type this down. And then let me actually I kind of want to do it on the 12 hour. So 12 hour yeah, 12 hour, do this. No, we don't want it. Okay, let's do this. Okay, and then turn this into our signals template so that it's nice and easy for everyone to stare at. Let's download this real quick. Okay, let's move this. So this will be a short 10:20 p.m. Let's account for my delay. 10:20, 10:25 p.m. This is going to be Pippin. Entry price at 0.20063. 0.20063. Stop loss 0.22397. Okay, okay, let me go back to the 5 minutes here. Okay, let's just do a retrace, right? About, say here would be nice. 0.19244. Final take profit at 0.15. So Pippin 12H overbought, reversal, triangle, ribbon twist, momentum, and bearish ribbon twist. With momentum transitioning to bearish. 5 minute oversold, and direction will push us to entry. TP at 12H high volume node at crypto signal. Alright, so that's good. Just go back here. Actually, let me turn up the AC. It's really warm in the Philippines. Okay. So yeah, let's go back to Bitcoin, see what it's doing. Okay, so it's dumping again. It's not a good candle close. Part of me would actually want to short it to possibly 90,000, like the liquidity zone that we saw on the fundamental analysis. But let's just wait for market open, which is in 6 minutes. So let's just see who else is in the show today. Hey Crypto Noob, hey Gur, hey H, welcome to the show. Hey Desmond, nice seeing you. I'm not sure if I was able to greet Arfine, but welcome to the show as well. Hey, well, you know, we do have a Pippin short coming, so I'm placing a Pippin short over here. So let me just, oh, that is quite, yeah, somewhere here basically, because I do suspect that we get a push back up here, but with the 12H looking like this, overextended and whatnot, I do see us falling to correct. Actually, if you look, if you zoom out, it kind of wants to correct all the way back to 0.06, but I'd say 0.15 is about right for a correction. Hey Arfine, first day on your stream. Never a fan of shitcoin swings. Well, I mean, it's true that I'm not a fan of Pippin as a coin as well, but the fact of the matter is, this is sort of logic driven, right? There's rationale behind maybe taking behind the swing. So we saw that the 12-hour for Pippin was still overbought on the RSI heat map. We see that there's a high volume node here at take profit. We see that the 5 minutes pushing up. So there's a potential, right? There's potential it goes against us, but that also means that there's potential that we're right in sort of taking the short. And what we're looking for generally is just confluence as well as firm logic or reasoning. So, with how I trade, coming from sort of an economics background, I try to follow volume and liquidity as much as possible. And, you see that here on the 12 hour, you are declining in money flow, your momentum switching bearish, you've gotten your downward reversal triangle, and we're taking profit at high volume node. So there's a chance we don't revisit this, and I probably have to cancel the thing. But this is what I see, and I mean, so far I've taken like one Pippin trade on the show, and it did get to full TP. So I think there's potential here, and yeah, um, you are not yet late for Soul. Yeah, exactly. I don't love Pippin. I don't hold Pippin. The only coins I hold are like BTC, uh, BTC Solana, um, and Sui. And my Sui bag is down, but obviously you DCA into Sui, right? Because I mean Sui just had a massive push to the upside, right? Like from over here, it took such a bad beating from like the dump of October 10, but out of all of them, Sui is one of those top cap coins that really pushed in the past 24 hours. Yeah, boosted boy. Market is definitely uncertain. Doesn't know which way to go. Uh, oh, that's crazy, man. I'm happy for you. Technically, if your average is point 0.9, you're basically up. Uh, you're basically up 2x technically at 1.69, and we almost revisited 1.8. So, congratulations. Nice. I actually did take some profit. I took profits at 5. So I actually had a long from like 4.4. I just let it run to 5, took profits. I also sold some of my bags on Sui. And then I think my average from back then was like 2 point something. And then as soon as we got that big dump, right? I was just sort of just dollar cost averaging in. So my average right now is like about my average is around 1 point. Actually, I should check. Okay, yeah. My average is about 1.47. So a little bit higher than yours, but still in profits. Yeah. Profits are profits, exactly. So let's go back to Bitcoin, and it basically bounced off the rejection. I think it's gonna do. What's Pippin doing? Bouncing off the rejection. Okay. Let's go back to Sahara because I do want to look back. Where's my blowfin? There's my blowfin. So Sahara is one of those oversold ones, and here on the 12 hour, I mean, this guy did not get the benefit of the push to the upside recently. It's just dying. Like, it did not get any benefits. It's got this very tiny push. And we see that the next high volume node's at around 0.07. So, kind of scary. I kind of don't want to touch this. I mean, there is an opportunity because literally your 5 minutes and your 12 hours showing the same thing. And if we maybe go for 30 minutes, which might be a nicer time frame to look at. I mean, it's not good. Your what's that? The inverse Nike logo? Whoosh. Okay. But anyways, it doesn't look good. It looks terrible. I kind of wouldn't want to do anything with that. So let's go back to Aptos. Aptos. sort of recovered already from the wick. And it just went straight for the FVG. But here in the 12-hour, bullish divergence, money flow divergence, as well as a push to the upside. It would make sense to me to maybe long Aptos, right? But if Bitcoin's acting like this, I kind of don't want to long just yet. I kind of want to look for the bottom of Aptos. This is ADA. Oopsie. Right. So possibly, I mean, it's saying our entry from last night is probably a good idea, right? It's possible. I mean, if we dump back down to our entry from yesterday, it would make sense, and you'd still have a higher low. Technically, you'd double bottom on the 12-hour. So, yeah. Bitcoin. All right, it's market open, so we should see a little bit more moves now. I hope that we're getting it right. Let's look at Pippin again. Gee, you know what? Let's just sacrifice Ada. Just look at Pippin. Uh, 5 minutes. Oh yeah, it's not the template that we had. So let me rechart what we drew earlier. I think this is good. Okay, so it kind of doesn't look like it's gonna go our way, but I mean, I'll leave my order for it and check back later. See how it's doing. No, this 4R does look pretty good. You do have like a peak top, money flow divergence right here. So had I spotted this 4 hours ago, well, I would have told us to enter maybe here, draw down, but we'd probably enter at the top of the wick and we'd be in profits. Yeah. Oh, lovely. Okay, let's look back at Aptos. So, not a lot of moves, or sort of not the strength we're looking for during market open. But if you have sort of this arrangement, this is bearish in nature, at least candle structure wise. You failed to get back above this this candle wick, couldn't get above the wick, now you're dumping back. So it does look interesting. I'm guessing your short is doing well, Daga. No, it's not. What was your average? Your average open was 93,000 with 10x left, so you're up like 9%. Okay, sure, buddy. All right. It's probably a decent place to short, but I mean, if we have a candle like this, it'd be interesting. But yeah, 90,000 is probably the liquidity area from earlier, right? So it's likely to, if we do dump from here, again, it's just very likely that we'll just stay within this range, like within this circle. Let me make it smaller to fit. So somewhere here. So our target's gonna be maybe at the top of the FVG, right? It could provide enough stopping power if we do continue to dump. Let's look at Pippin again. And I should probably put, what do I think of Solana? So Solana's kind of following Bitcoin at the moment. You do have a bearish order block here in the 5 minutes. So scalping wise, it does look like we could fall more. But if we're looking at it from a more swing perspective, so let me pull up 30 minutes 4 hour right here. I mean, your measured move, your smart target on Solana is around 150, thanks to market dynamics, and you do have a lot more room to run here on Solana. So we're staying above macro support. We're sort of getting rejected from the dynamic reactor, but since we're this close, I do think short term we maybe head down a little bit. It wouldn't invalidate our targets, right? It would just allow us to get the lower time frames to reset, because you do have a bullish cross here in the 30 minutes. So with this bullish cross here on the 30 minutes, I could see us maybe going for the FVG 137. If I pull up fundamental analysis and look at the liquidation heat map on Solana, it does say that you have liquidity at around 137, which is about your FVG. So if Solana does dump, like I think some of these coins are gonna do, just to like reset the move, just gain a little bit more strength, right? I do think that 137 would be a great place to maybe enter along. But if not, then obviously that is going to continue up to the smart target, and ideally the measured move. Yeah, by the way, if you could just walk through from a naked chart how you go about charting, that'd be nice. To understand how you do it. You might have already done it in the past, but again, day one. No, Arfine, it's okay. Actually, yeah. So I actually made a video because I do get this question quite a bit. So I start from a naked chart. I put on my template. I maybe explain some of like the tools that I use, as well as possible things you can consider when you're trading as well. And yeah, just have a look at the video, and then if you have any questions, you can just tag me in trading chat later, because I'll be up until 2 a.m. over here. So it'll is that 11? No, it's not. It's 1 p.m. EST. So yeah, just have a look at the video when you've got time, and yeah, if you got questions, just ask me. Fake move to the downside to shake out weak hands, possibly. Again, I did say that whenever this happens right before market open, it's very dubious. It doesn't mean go take a long right away, but it's just sort of a very dubious move. And again, it could be trapping all of us, right? Because if you look at crypto stocks, all of these are just mind games. When I was studying banking, there's even a psychological element to it, how your federal, how your central bank moves, your Federal Reserves, how they set rates. It's all, there's just a lot of psychology that goes into economics. So when you're trading with sort of this volatility, right? To basic retail, it could say, okay, short it, now you're dead, right? But for us, what they're probably trying to trigger is, okay, we're going long, right? So maybe you want to ape in a little bit because you waited, and then maybe they take us out from there. It's possible, right? Because this is a long wick. If we close the 1 hour in 18 minutes with such a long wick, then clearly it was just a liquidity hunt, and we continue to the upside. But if we just hit any points of liquidity here, for example, if we hit our quantum reactor, we get rejected, and we close bearish, then we continue down. So it could be trapping both sides, but only time will tell. And we do have a lot of time. We have 1 hour. No, we have 50 more minutes for the show, so we got time to burn. Yeah. No, don't long. Do not long right now. Don't long right now. You can see, I was just mentioning how we could get rejected from the quantum reactor, and we just did. Yeah. Ethereum, big candle. That is a big candle. That is a big boy candle right there. So, unlike Bitcoin, this is a much stronger candle. And thankfully, I do have longs on both. So, if you guys um, looked at any of my signals from the chat, from my chat, I do have longs for Bitcoin, Ethereum right now. So, that's a big candle, strong candle. Uh, let's wait a bit. I should probably put in my pip in order. I forgot about that. Yeah, I agree. If we don't close above 93K, it is risky. But also, if we, for example, if your most traded price is at the top, that's a little bit scary because that means that people could be shorting at the top of these candles. So most traded price is here at the top. So I like seeing your most traded price if you're going long. I like seeing it closer to the bottom. If it's closer to the top like this, it's kind of dubious for me. Let's go back to Pippin. I'll set my order properly. Lower my leverage. So my take stop loss 0.22396. Let's say 340. And I take profits at 0.15. Nice. Yeah. So, we're basically waiting for confirmation, right? Because the thing is, doc, if you are an actual doctor, I will call you doctor. So, uh, is it Dr. Schindel? But anyways, essentially, what we're looking for is confirmation on a close. Ideally, you don't want to make a move until the candle closes, because when you make a move during the movement of a candle, it can easily sort of reverse on you within that time frame. So right now, you can see that we did close technically strong, right? But note that our most traded price is around 93. On the 1 hour, we still have 15 minutes. If we close even at like 92,779, that's an indecision candle right there, and that would be scary to take a long at because you have more selling pressure from that point. Now your most traded price on the 1 hour is 92,000, which is great. That means that people were putting long orders at around 92,202. Uh, but let's not forget that we are sort of on a downtrend here on the 1 hour. We got bearish divergence right here played out, right? We're still experiencing that. Your momentum hasn't even touched or tested the fluid zero line again. Right now, you are testing the fluid zero line of your momentum here on the 5 minutes, and you can see, had we taken a long based on that big candle, that very strong emotional trigger, well, you would be in drawdown right now, and it's possible that this completely engulfs the previous candle. Nice. Oh, it's so cool. Actually, physics is my weakest science. Um, so I don't know if you know about like the IB diploma program. It's I think you should. It's well, most educators would know it. But anyways, I took biology and uh and I was also taking like an extra class on chemistry. I just could not with physics. Like I can do math. I just could not with the math of physics and thinking about sort of the scenarios. So just could not do physics. I always joke that physics is my ex girlfriend. But yeah. But yeah, it's really cool. Great to know. Yeah, let me just see who else is in the show. Um, hey Hugh Hector, it's been a while. Hey Tuke. Hey Chip. Welcome to the show. Right now, I mean, we were contemplating what to take on Bitcoin, and you can see here on the 5 minutes, we're already halfway through the last candle, right? And again, we have resistance here on our oscillators. We have resistance here earlier from the quantum reactor, and now it's sort of playing out. Do I look at SP 500? Not on. I don't trade. Uh, I don't trade. Shoot. Yeah, I don't trade it, but then, I can look at it if you'd like. Yeah. All right. Sure. Yeah. Let me just pull up. Maybe I want to look at this. MSTR. All right. Let's go all. S&P. Which one should I use? Oh no, not this one. Oopsie. This is what I get for not knowing. Which one should I use, guys? Or what? Actually, Arfine, which one do you use? Like what ticker specifically? Go to the indices tab. Indices. Okay. But yeah, if you guys have any like coins, securities, assets you want me to look at, just let me know. We can have a look at them. SP 500 FCXM. All right, this one. Okay. So I'll give you a little bit more of a swing look, right? So based on what I can see, if I zoom out like this, your high volume node is here at around 6647. You have one at 8739, which does coincide with an FVG here on the 4 hour. Excuse me. Your momentum is bearish, your direction is bearish, but you have good bullish volume. So that tells me that, technically speaking, I would expect this to continue up further to the upside. So just so we can remember, let's just mark these special areas that that were highlighted by our indicators, and also this bullish order block that we have as well. And then let's head to a higher time frame. So based on sort of the shape or of this market structure, I do think it's headed down. So we've got a hidden bearish div, and it is playing right now, you can see that our first volume node from earlier actually is the structure's 618. So there's a good chance of a bounce here. Uh, so what I would do personally is I would set alerts, right? I'd set alerts just like this on TradingView and see what happens. Because right now you could take a short, right? Base it off the 12 hour. You could take a short. Your CP, your fluid zero line is really high. So there's a good chance that you just sort of fall off in terms of momentum and go overly bearish. So you can take maybe a short, low risk short right over here, short it, set an alert to 6-7, maybe, ah, oh, frick. Oh, I don't know if you guys have kids or are around kids, but Gen Alpha is just like they have this thing with like the numbers 6 and 7. And it's just, oh my goodness. Oh, please. I remember in class that my prof wrote 6-7 and everyone just burst out laughing. Terrible. But okay. 6-7-3-7. Set an alert there. See if you bounce, because if you bounce based on the 618, you can take your long. If not, and you continue down, set an alert here. 6-6-80. See if you bounce. Take a long. And then last but not the least, if you get here, at this point, I would assume you'd be oversold, so you can probably take a long. Yeah, that's what I would look at for the SP500. But yeah. Really? Okay, nice. No, 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 no. Oh, please. Oh my goodness. One time I looked down on my watch and I was like, oh, what time is it? Because I was walking around and I needed to go to a meeting. And then I looked down and it just said 6-7. And I just, I, it was so, I just cringed. I had just this awkward pause in the middle of a shopping mall. People were just walking past me and the time froze. I hate it. I don't know why, but I hate it. Um, oh, I can't imagine Armac. But yeah. Oh, thank you, Arfine. I do appreciate the vote of confidence. 50. Oh, how's Pippin doing? Ah, damn it. Oh. Ah, frick. But okay. Dimitar, please check IMUX Nasdaq. Of course. Of course. Let me check it out. Nasdaq. Oh, wrong one. Nasdaq. Okay. All right. So, oh, I need to get rid of the. Oh, that's a lot of volume. That's a lot of volume. Okay. Let's see here. So, you kind of failed on this bullish div, right? You did get a trend shift right here, and it did play out. I mean, your trend did change from this point on, but you kind of just completely invalidated that trend shift. So, this isn't really giving me much, but if I zoom out, maybe we can get an idea for here. It's not really giving me much ideas, but I'll just put a horizontal ray around this discount zone just so we have a reference for when we go a little lower in terms of time. So let's look at your 4-hour. Okay, so your 4-hour does give you something more to work with. You're already at your discount here on the 4-hour. You got a money flow divergence, which is, so it's like money flow should be pushing back to the upside. So your inflows. Your momentum's still overly bearish, and while your fluid zero line is below the actual zero line, it's not really pushing down sort of to the downside. You have a smart target call here at about 0.3269 measurement. That's really tight, actually. All right, I think I need to look up or look farther away. All right, so on the 1 day, you are on a descending channel. So this structure is bullish in nature. So it's actually one of my favorite structures to trade. because it's bullish. Um, average average low volume. This order block is kind of crazy. Where's this order coming from? Is it over here? It's wild. Um, but I do like that we have a peak bottom. We also have a diamond shift, so a trend shift as well as money flow divergence. So, okay, let's look at the 1 week. It's kind of crazy. Ah, I see. Okay. Okay, let's. Ah, man, this is rough. Oh, that's the automatic. There's nothing to look at. Okay, so I kind of like the one day chart better. Uh, I've never seen the quantum reactor look so wrinkly. I mean, look at that. It's just wrinkles. But anyways, you are below your 200-day moving average. Oh, that's 200-week moving average. You're also below your 200-day moving average. So, I mean, that just tells you that price is kind of fucked right now. Um, but when these sort of converge together, right, you're looking for a possible explosive push to the upside. So I'm not entirely sure what if you're in this uh in this security right now, but so far based on the 1 day and 12 hour, your 0.5807 level seems to be interesting. It seems to be the discount on both your 1 day and your 12 hour. So what I would suggest is putting an alert here. You could maybe take a very small long, right? You could maybe take a small long, because if we get to this point, I would expect some level of support, because then you'd be oversold. This should ideally play out. I mean, your bearish trend strength is weakening, so ideally you might want to see a push to the upside, just like that. Or you could possibly get to your smart target, in which case, if this continues to push down, you would have to wait for it to push back up. So, in terms of the long term, I do think it's bullish. I don't think it'll get back to the all-time highs based on the 1 week, but at least on the 1 day, it's in a descending channel. The 1 week's moving averages are all converging, so when they do converge, you're kind of looking for a push to the upside. And based on sort of global liquidity, U.S. Federal Reserve injections and whatnot, whether or not the Fed will put quantitative easing on the books, because right now the US has to deal with its high inflation. It's a dual mandate, so they have to deal with inflation, but the fact that even if they cut rates, it's not really opening new jobs. They're sort of in a tight pickle. They want to get inflation lower, but get job openings up high. That said, the US has also been known to just basically say, fuck inflation, we need to make jobs for people. So it might just do quantitative easing. If that's the case and this happens, there's a really good chance you bounce over here or over here. So just set alerts, Dimitar, and I think you'll be good. So just remember this level, if it falls through, wait for it to get to 0.31. If it falls through, wait for it to get to 0.154, then take your long. Yeah, no problem. Let's look back to Bitcoin. And yeah, so uh, Dr. Schindel, this is what I was talking about, where you could have taken a long right here, but now you're in drawdown. So really, they're just playing with us at this point. And there's 16 seconds on the 1 hour close. So that tells me that maybe I actually want to short Bitcoin. So, Dagaditi, I think we've been vindicated from last night's short. I don't know about you. You've been in profit. Oh well, yeah, it did kind of push up to the upside. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think I'd actually want to take a little short, a very low. I said that last night, and I lost 0.2% of my portfolio, which is rough. Actually, is Pippin gonna? Nope, nope. We were too high up. Well, that's annoying. Um, that's actually really annoying for that to have happened. But you can, at least, Arfine, you can see the general idea, right? That the idea to take a short based on your lower time frame, higher time frame bias, and taking or placing your take profit at a very strategic place. That's sort of what uh, I'm trying to teach and show you guys as well. So I always do multi time frame analysis, at least when I'm trading, right? But when I'm just looking at possible areas to maybe take a long or possible areas I want to look at, I just do one time frame. But then again, I did do multi time frame from earlier, just like 4 hours. But anyways, that's besides the point. Yeah. All right. Part of me wants to take the short here, money flow, POC, stop loss above premium, but then I think the RR wouldn't be worth it. So for example, if I put it here, my my ideal my ideal take profit. Actually, no, we can make it work. Yo, that can work. This can work. Okay. The question is though, would BTC revisit this? Is it possible that this could be just a double bottom? For BTC, I don't. I think ETH is dying too. Okay, ETH is dying. Well, it's not dying as hard. It actually did make a higher low. BTC as well, but not as high. Solana looks terrible on the 30 minutes, and this is an order block. So actually, I don't know if I want to short Solana. It's near the oversold region, but this could be interesting because your momentum's also kind of high up. Uh, Question is, where would you take profits? 137 was the call, so this could be an interesting place. If I take a short position right over here by the volume node, stop loss like that. Oh no, it's just 1-to-1. So I'd have to tighten my stop loss a lot. Or maybe lift this up a little bit just to get a little. Okay. This looks interesting. Yeah, something like this could work. But if it's near. Back to the 5 minutes. Oh, there's a resistance line right here. And then I can put this like, right above here. Yeah. Alright, I think DagaDT and I will look forward to those questions. But yeah. Is Pippin pushing up? No. I'm really disappointed in Pippin. I really wish it. It is what it is sometimes. Okay. Okay. Oh, DagaDT, I don't know if you're. Yeah, you're still in profits. Ethereum pushing, Solana. Again, I think it's really just playing with us right now. I think I'll stay true to the Pippin short here. I have a good feeling about it. And obviously, don't trade with feelings. But I mean, like, my gut is telling me, based on like the logic from earlier, that this should be an okay trade to take. Oh man. I remember like yesterday, the short on Bitcoin. I was like up, was that 40% ish, and then I brushed my teeth. I came back and it was back to zero, and I just let it hit the SL. But yeah, Aptos actually looking really good compared to everyone. But this could be a setup for a Head and Shoulders, which kind of scares me. Right, just a very ugly Head and Shoulders. Bitcoin. So Daga DT still up. Not. Oh yeah. By the way, until I say a trade's like an official endorsement, don't take it. It's literally just idea. So this is an idea, not an official endorsement. Just putting it out there. Uh, just just so we're clear, right? So far, the only one I officially endorsed tonight's the Pippin one. Uh, but yeah, kind of does look good to short though. But if I mean, it's just playing with us right now. I mean, I should be grateful because I'm up. How much percent am I up on BTC? Yeah, I'm up 224% so far. Uh, so I can actually send it to trading chat just so everyone's like clear. I am up 224%, but it kind of, I don't know. This looks so sketchy, and we only have 23 minutes. It's terrible. Uh, should we take this short? What's up to 15 minutes? Okay. Pippin hit entry on Bybit? Really? Really? But when? It was at like 0.2. Yes, it did? Oh, really? So, Mihai, are you in profits by any chance? Or did you take the trade? Yes, okay. How much profits are you in? It didn't. Oh, damn it. Uh, it's terrible. Wolfen fucked me over here. Okay, that's good. So your entry's 0.2, right? Or what was your entry at? 0. Wow. Okay. Actually, you know what? I kind of want to look at Pippin on Bybit now. I'm curious. Oh yeah, it did hit at 0.2. Wow. Okay. So, wow. Yeah, and you were even in drawdown for quite a while. So, you if you did my leverage, you would be up 80% right now. Right? 2063. But yeah, oh. So, when I do my leverage, it's sort of uh a disclaimer, right, in the signal that I do a 1% high leverage cross margin strategy. So I only use 1% of my portfolio, and then I risk about 2%, 1 to 2% per trade. Sorry, I risk about 1 to 2% per trade, and then I make about 5 to 7% on a trade. So it's about a 1 to 2, 1 to 3. Sometimes I get 1,000%, so 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio. But essentially, what that allows me to do is, even when I'm in drawdown, I can basically remove my stop loss and my liquidation on my exchange literally says liquidation unlikely. It doesn't think it can take my money completely. So that's how I manage my risk, and that's why I can do high high leverage relative to the coin, because 20x on Pippin is a death sentence if you have isolated margin, right? And sort of my rationale is that you get more satisfying numbers psychologically, and you're able to better rationalize the high numbers when you're in drawdown, whereas when you're trading without your high lev isolated margin, part of you feels part of you feels bad if you close on like 40%. I don't know. That's just me. Part of you feels bad when you close on like 40%, and um, part of you wants to stay in when you're only down like 30%, right? But with this strategy, I found that I have a little bit more discipline compared to when I was using just isolated margin. Yeah, I know. For me, more important is position size and cross. My backup is, yeah. So yeah, I actually do have a calculator for cross positions or cross margin mode strategies. In my channel, it's also pinned. Um, wait, Daga DT, you don't have to send it. I promise. I will send it myself. Okay. Oof. Race against time, but I got this. Trust, trust, trust. No, 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 no. Okay. Okay, okay. Ugh. There we go. Nice. So this is also, oh, oops. This is also pinned on my in my channel in case you're looking for it. But yeah, this is the calculator that I make. So you can adjust um based on the delta between exchanges. If you're using a different kind of exchange for your trading, you can also adjust your risk to reward, as well as how much percentage you're willing to risk of your portfolio. So not a chart prime product. I personally use this template for myself. It's also how I calculate the leverage when I make signals. So feel free to use it. And I find that it also helps with discipline, because when you make a trade, you got to write down your reason for taking that trade. So it's all about creating that routine, creating that discipline, logging it down, really seeing how your portfolio's been able to grow over a period of time. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Armac, and thank you, Desmond, for basically advocating for these sessions. Thank you. But yeah, let's see who else is in the show. Hey, MTN man, welcome. Hey, Raptor. Hot Stocks baby. I love the name. Dushnila 7789. Welcome to the show. Pine Nut, welcome to the show. It's lovely to have all of you here. I also see Hugh Hector. Always really love your profile picture. Is that is that your actual cat by any chance, or just a picture of a cat with shades? But yeah. Anyways, no, that's right. Well, I do. I like to think I talk a little bit slower, and I take the time, because I think at least for Alex and Piper, they're on a bit of a schedule. I mean, obviously mine's scheduled as well, but mine's scheduled for minimum 1 hour, 30 minutes. Yeah, yeah. Damn, this would have been a fun short. Oh, oh, oh. uh, Now I'm wishing I fully endorsed it. Um, but yeah, for where I think this goes, again, I think it goes to 90K. That's where our liquidity says we're headed, at least in fundamental analysis. Excuse me. I had a burger for dinner. It was quite good. Yeah. How's Sui looking for an entry? Actually, let's look at Sui. Uh, I don't know when I plotted that. Um, let's this 1 hour, and then let's put this 5 minutes. Okay. So, in terms of the charts, right? Bearish div 1 hour, uh, bearish momentum. Our fluid zero line's directly at zero, so it would be a great chance if we bounce off that. In terms of your 5 minutes, your lower time frame, you are overall bearish in terms of momentum. So that tells me we head down. Um, Based on where I'm seeing for these high volume nodes, a likely entry would maybe be 1.6 if you're taking another long. Uh, you could theoretically take a very low lev short right now to get to the long, right? So I'm thinking something like this. And if I double check SWE in terms of your liquidity here on the 1 week, it does say that there's liquidity at 1.66 at 1.576. And if I look at it from, say, the 3 day, it says about 1.65, 1.62, 1.576. So, based on what I'm seeing on liquidity, as well as obviously the best technical analysis from Chart Prime, 1.6 seems to be an interesting place. 1.63 also seemed interesting based on liquidity. But actually, let's look at it from maybe a higher time frame, right? Because maybe it's not making sense with our scalping time frames. So 1.6. Oh dear, what did I do? So 1.6 does appear to be an FVG here on the 30 minutes if it loads. And I think it just hung on. Come on, don't do this to me. Okay, thank you. Overall bullish though on SWE, bullish cross here on the reactors. 1.6 is a nice place to maybe take a long. But your high volume node is around 1.54, which on the 4 hour, you do have a downward reversal triangle. Rejected by the quantum reactor, bouncing in between reactors. At least at this point in time, I'd say SWE's a no trade. I wouldn't short it. I wouldn't put a long. I put a long at 1.6. I think you could do that and maybe bounce off previous week high. It is also a pretty decent volume node, right? Although it is a gap, so whenever there's a gap, price likes to just fill that real quick, test, and then possibly go up. So maybe a small long on SWE would make sense. I'd probably place this below, so like below 1.5. Yeah, this is sort of looking like a decent setup. You do have a downward reversal triangle here on the 4 hour, so you could take a low lev short on SWE and then set an alert at like 1.65, 1.62, and see what SWE does at those points. If it bounces off, then obviously get out of your low lev short. If it continues, check here. If it bounces off, get out of your low lev short. If it goes here, then check. Bounces off, get rid of your low lev short. Oh, nice. Congratulations. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, you're up 25.9% right now. So, really glad for you. Um, this is terrible. Like, look. Wow, such a huge difference. Oh, I think I need to account for that now. Uh, yeah, no, that's a big difference, right? Because what's the current price on Pippin? 0.1915. And the current price here on Bybit 0.194, 94, 191. Damn, it's wild. I really need to get a back scratcher. But yeah, we've only got 10 minutes left on the show. I think I'll let the Pippin trade continue just because, your 5 minutes could push up and then that would put you oversold. It wouldn't surprise me if uh, we flash back to the upside. So I'm guessing Daga DT short's doing pretty well for itself right now. Uh, 1 hour Ethereum does look bearish, right? Bearish div, ribbon twist. Yeah, it does look kind of bearish. Could take a short. Congratulations, I'm proud of you. Oh man, but that Pippin short. At least some exchanges got it. But now I have to factor that in next time. Okay. XRP on the 12H looks bullish. Actually, technically, this should be a bullish divergence, right? Because, oh no, it wouldn't be a bullish divergence. It's really just, boom. No, would it be? Yeah, it's a higher low, higher low. Yeah. Right? Played out pretty well. But yeah, XRP short was pretty nice. I made enough money to eat for a week. So, thank goodness. Had a long on each set my stop loss on Pippin, 50% profit. I was stopped out. Would it be a bad idea to get back or just moving? Not financial advice, I know. Okay. If you, I mean, technically my order didn't get hit yet, so technically you could wait, right? I would wait personally, because you can see now our dynamic reactor is right where our high volume node is and our entry is, so good chance that we get rejected again, because right now price is sort of going up. Price is sort of going up. This very ugly double bottom. You don't want this as a double bottom, right? I mean, technically it is. It could be, but it is kind of ugly in the sense that not a lot of price movement in between. But you do see that you've got a lot of wicks here at the bottom. And by the time you get here, ideally you would be overbought. So I think you could probably re-enter at entry. Probably leave that there for now, because again, I do think that we head back down, because let's be real, this move fantastic, right? This move was fantastic, but if we zoom out, let's say to the 12-hour, that's just two huge ass candles, right? That's just bullish hammer. Pretty big candle, pretty good. Crazy big candle. You got top wicks, so you kind of want to retest some of these areas to get a better, just a healthier move, right? Because we could just be copying what we did here where we chopped. So possible push right there. Overall, I am bullish, and I guess before we end in 6 minutes, let me just pull up the 1 week chart that I like to look at. And you can see here, right, this white line, we did get our higher low. We're thrice oversold here on the... Actually, why is my thing not showing the diamond shift? Well, yeah. You can see that in terms of our measured move, it's placing us back at like 128. I don't think we get that within the year, possibly in 2026. But one thing I want you guys to just take note of is, while we did bounce off the 3-day buy zone, right? This was a bullish order block on the 3-day, and we did get our oversolds. We did bounce. We retested it, and we bounced, right? We have a lot of hurdles to get through. We have technically a fib here at 98, which I mean, it's not a major fib, but it's something to consider. Another one at 103. Again, not a major fib, something to consider. But our major fib, the 618, the 1 week golden zone, is over here at 108. And if you see, if we get to 108, we do make a head and shoulders on the weekly, right? Shoulder, head, right shoulder. So this again is your big decision zone. 108, big decision zone. If we reject here, then we're going to look for shorts. But if we push up to the upside, then our 1 week retracement places us anywhere from 146 to 183. Do I think we get there? I mean, it's possible, right? If there's global liquidity pumping through and all the markets are experiencing a little bit more loose in terms of cash, they're able to get more cash for less money, then of course we'll see a pump to the 1 week retracement. But until then, we have to assume that this 108 resistance at the 1 week golden zone is here to stay. Maybe we push up to an all-time high in 2026 or 2027. But again, just consider all these options. I'm just laying out the TA, the facts, the FA, everything that I can possibly give. So yeah, I always like to end my weekly streams just looking at this chart. I'm not ending yet. Still 4 minutes, so I probably should have done this a little later. But anyways, let's go back to the action. We are pushing up a little bit. Alright, Pippin's pushing up. So, it would be interesting. I like green/red candles. Oh, my SL on the sweet trade. Oh, sorry, that's fine. I didn't see this. Um, well, if you are gonna take a long, where I said, I would probably put it at 1.49, but just be careful because your 1.49 is below your dynamic reactor. If you want to be a little bit more conservative, you can maybe put it below the quantum, 1.4677. So you'll basically have equilibrium, dynamic reactor, quantum reactor, macro support line, couple FEGs, another support line protecting you on the 30 minutes. And then you can probably take your order up to the FVG here for 1 to 2, maybe to equilibrium. If you're feeling lucky, you can go up here. But then again, I do think SWI's gonna push up a lot higher. Should we get some more liquidity injections? Because I did send some analysis, just some like written stuff in my channel. I'll probably forward it to trading chat. But essentially, what we're looking at the markets right now is there's not a lot of liquidity in the market. Yes, global M2, your money supply has increased, but money supply doesn't fully capture how much of that money is in the hands of the everyday person or banks. Banks right now are scared because they're unsure if the normal person who might not have as much money can pay their loans. So they tighten interest rates. Essentially, it's sort of forming a liquidity trap. And when you're in a liquidity trap, everything's pro-cyclical. Banks don't want to lend because they don't want to lose money, and people can't borrow money, so they can't be more productive, or they're not able to consume more. So really, the only few ways you can get rid of a liquidity trap, because open market operations aren't going to work, your traditional central bank monetary policies, that's not going to work. The only way to really get rid of liquidity trap is to print more fiat, so quantitative easing. But quantitative easing introduces inflation, so it's that really tight and very delicate balance between how can we get more money to the average person, open more jobs, but not absolutely tank in terms of, or tank the purchasing power of the average individual. Because let's face it, every economy is tied to the US, whether we like it or not. So you might be from the UAE, you might be from the UK. I'm from the Philippines, and I care about sort of what's happening in the US, because if they can't get their shit together, then, well, we're all not gonna be able to eat well. Yeah. Do you do one-on-one classes for a fee of? No, I don't. So, um, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me here at Chart Prime. Um, Based on my contract, I can't I can't do one-on-one classes. But again, if you have any questions, just let me know, and you can help everyone else in the community. So, this is a hub for learning. I want everyone here to be able to learn from each other. I'm learning from you guys, right? There's stuff that I don't trade, and so being able to see what you guys are trading, that gives me an idea of what I might want to do. So yeah, um, need a recession for QE, so no inflation or not. True. Yeah. Effin Reyes, I'm a pool player. I don't know what that means. I might be out of context there, but yeah. With that said, it is technically the end of the show. So thank you guys for joining me this week. I think this is sort of the biggest crowd that I've got, and I see that Yen, Vusi, Thomas, you guys joined in. Steve joined in. Thank you guys. Christian Perez as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'll see you guys next week. So my show's Tuesdays, Wednesdays, 9 a.m. EST until they fix their, um, what is it? Daylight savings. But yeah, with that said, thank you guys for joining me. I am Langstrom, and always remember, always use a stop loss. Thank you guys. See you next week.